going to be all about this bad boy right here. This is the Morphe and Kathleen Lights eyeshadow palette. This video is going to be extremely similar to the last video that I posted. I am going to let you guys know my thoughts on this palette. I will show you swatches, and then at the very end of the video, I will show you how I got this eye look. And just like last time, if there's only one specific part of the video that you want to see, I will leave timestamps down below in the description box. That way, if you only want to see the swatches, or if you only want to see the little tutorial that I have for you at the very end, you can just click on the timestamp and it will take you right to where you want to go. Last thing before we get into it, if you hear my dog chewing on his bone, I'm really sorry. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into it. This is the Morphe X Kathleen Lights palette. This was and will be again available on the Morphe Brushes website for $14.99. A bunch of different YouTubers have, beauty bloggers, YouTubers have 10% off affiliate codes that you can use to get 10% off of anything on the Morphe website. So if you use one of those 10% off codes, that makes this palette about $13.50-ish. I think Kathleen's coupon code is just Kathleen Lights. I'm gonna put it right here on the screen because I don't know it off the top of my head. When I got this, I was so nervous that it was gonna sell out, so I completely forgot to even use the coupon code. So I'm gonna go ahead and read what the website says about this palette. It says, with colors as vivid and imaginative as Kathleen herself, this collaboration is the perfect reflection of the spirited YouTuber. It's easy to create a fun, adventurous look with this 15-color mix of mattes and shimmers. This palette is anything but ordinary. So this palette comes with 15 eyeshadows. There are 8 mattes and 7 shimmers. There's 22.5 grams of product in this palette total, making each shadow 1.5 grams. Does anybody else have a dog that gets super sassy when you try and like play with its toys? So the palette comes in this box here. Just says Kathleen Lights palette Morphe, and then on the back there's a pretty little picture of Kat and a little quote. And then this is what the packaging looks like of the actual palette. I'm gonna insert some close-ups of what the palette and the packaging looked like when I first got it in the mail. Unfortunately, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mint green eyeshadow came broken in the mail. This was the only shade in the whole palette that was broken when I got it. You'll be able to see that in the close-ups. So that is the only shade that I won't be able to give you an actual sort of review on because I fixed it with some alcohol. So I don't know what the actual formula felt like before I sprayed the alcohol in it. So keep that in mind when you see the swatches. But this is what the packaging looks like. Just matte black. It says Morphe X Kathleen Lights in their traditional red font, but this one is sort of metallic. And then on the back, it's completely blank. Oh, mine's already a little bit dirty. Okay, Kai. Man, I wish my dog understood English. And the packaging closes with a magnetic closure. Usually the Morphe palettes have a little snap closure. I don't own anything else from Morphe. This is my first Morphe purchase ever. This palette also does not have a mirror, which some people were bummed about, but Kathleen had said that every time she has a cardboard packaging palette with a mirror on it, it breaks. So she didn't mind that there was no mirror. Also, she had mentioned in her video that if there was a mirror, they would have had to jack up the price, of course, and she wanted to keep it really affordable. So I don't really mind that there's no mirror. So of course, this is what the inside looks like. Lots of warmer colors. Would it be a palette that Kathleen Lights created if there wasn't a bunch of warm colors in it? I personally love the shade range in this palette. I feel like it'd be really easy to use as an everyday palette to use when I travel because there are some fun pops of color sort of, but it's also really easy to just do a black and brown smoky eye, or it'd be really easy to do a fun look with some of the other colorful shades. These shadows are very pigmented in my opinion. The one that is not pigmented at all, in my opinion, again, is this black one here, which Kathleen, once again, I follow her on Snapchat, and when she had first announced that she had come out with this palette, she had mentioned on her Snapchat that this black isn't supposed to be all that pigmented. It's supposed to be very buildable, which I can appreciate because I love Makeup Geek Corrupt. That is the blackest eyeshadow you'll ever see in your life. It's unbelievably pigmented. But when it comes to an eyeshadow that's so black, I appreciate the fact that this one is more buildable because I'm not just gonna dip my brush in and then plop it somewhere where I don't want it and then it's gonna be really hard to blend out. I do appreciate that this is less pigmented because it'll be easier to build it up, lowering your chances for a mistake. So maybe you do have to spend a little bit more time with this eyeshadow, but I would rather take my time and build up the color rather than, like I said, just stamp a bunch of black pigment on your eye and it's impossible to blend out. I did use this black eyeshadow in this look today, so you will be able to see this eyeshadow in action at the very end of the video. I also really love the consistency of these eyeshadows. They are relatively creamy. They're not creamy like the ColourPop eyeshadows where you almost wonder if it's... They're not as creamy as the ColourPop eyeshadows where when you put your finger in those, you're like, whoa, is this a cream? They're not that creamy, but they are very soft, which unfortunately can cause a lot of fallout. It can also cause a lot of kick up. You'll see the fallout in the tutorial part of this video and you'll see the kick up part in the swatches portion of this video. You can totally tell when I'm swatching them, when you dig your finger around. You can kind of see sort of on the edges of like this eyeshadow, it kind of like smeared on the outside of it a little bit. And when I'm swatching these shadows with a brush, you can see when I flick the brush, some fallout gets on the desk below my arm and stuff. So there is some kick up, there is some fallout. I did this eyeshadow after I had already completed my entire base. I did my foundation, powder, bronzer, blush, highlight, setting spray, everything, and I did get some fallout right here, and I just wiped it away with this big old powder brush and it didn't stain or anything. It was not a big deal at all. But if fallout is something that really bothers you, I would recommend doing your eyeshadow before you do your foundation. So these are very pigmented, they're very opaque, apart from this black one, but with that kind of comes some fallout and some kick up. Kick up meaning when you stick your brush in, sometimes it goes like it'll like explode kind of. So that might make for some fallout and it might make for a dirty palette. But that's okay, that doesn't bother me all that much. If it's a good formula, I don't really mind kick up all that much. And the last thing I want to touch on is that these eyeshadows blend like a freaking dream. Like a freaking dream. I had no problems blending out these eyeshadows whatsoever, probably because of their buttery, creamy texture, their soft texture. So do bear in mind that my green eyeshadow did come broken, so if you're planning on traveling with this palette, maybe wrap it up in like a sweatshirt or something, I don't know. But again, I'm sure maybe this green eyeshadow has a little bit of a softer formula, maybe that's why that's the only one that got broken. So this palette launched late October 25th or something I want to say, and it sold out in less than 2 days, and Kathleen and Morphe were completely blindsided. They had no idea that it was going to sell out so quickly. So they did decide to bring it back. It's not back yet, but they're saying that they're trying to bring it back before the holidays. So I'm going to try and update the description box of this video once it comes back in stock. So unfortunately, you can't purchase this palette right now. So of course, with that being said, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. This is limited edition. They were planning on never bringing it back. Once it sold out, it was going to be sold out. But it sold out so quickly and there was such high demand that they decided to bring it back one time. But I'm assuming that once this palette sells out the second time, I don't think they're ever gonna bring it back. They're gonna say that they're never gonna bring it back ever, ever, ever. I will go ahead and put overlays on the swatch part of this video to let you know where these eyeshadows are from. Some of these are single eyeshadows from Morphe. Some of these are eyeshadows from palettes from Morphe, and some of these were custom made by Kathleen. Alright, so that completes my review portion of this video. For these swatches, I did them very similarly to how I did them last time. I'm going to show you some finger swatches as well as brush swatches. For the brush swatches, this time I'm using my Elle Professional Eyeshadow Brush. This is just a $1 shader brush from Elle, and in between each swatch, I used this to clean off my brush. This is a sock bun thing that I got from Walmart. It's great to use this to clean off your brush if you're switching colors. If you want to go ahead and see some swatches of all of the shades in this palette, then go ahead and just keep watching. Alright, so we're all done with the swatches. Let's go ahead and get into the tutorial part of this video. All I'm showing you guys are my eyes. I didn't show you my brows, my blush, bronzer, highlight, my face makeup. I didn't show you anything except for the eyes. Oh, I showed you my lip. The last video that I posted, my ColourPop video, was way too freaking long. So I decided just to show you the eyes. So if you want to see how I got this eye look, then just keep on watching. Alright, so to begin, I already have my eye primed and set. I'm starting off with this shade right here. It's a nice pearly white frosty shade, and I'm just going to dust this on my brow bone. I'm going to go in and intensify it later. Then I'm taking this light mauve shade, just a little bit, as you can see, and I'm taking a big, dense, fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to buff this in my crease. Just lightly at first, and then later I'll go in and build it up if I want to. Now I'm taking that same shade that's on my brow bone, and I'm going to pack this all over my lid. And now I'm taking that same light mauve shade, and I'm going to layer that on top of the shade that we just laid down. Layering these two shadows together, it's kind of going to give that mauve shade a little bit more of a satin finish since it is matte. Layering it on top of a nice shimmery shade is going to make it sort of satin looking. Now I'm taking this darker burgundy shade, and I'm packing this on my outer corner. I'm basically just going to go back and forth with adding more shadow and then taking a different brush to blend it out. And then going back in with more shadow, packing it on, switch brushes, blend it out, switch brushes, add more, switch brushes, blend it out, back and forth until I get the nice smoked out blended look that I'm going for. It's a lot easier to do it that way as opposed to packing all the color on at once, because it's a lot harder to take it away than it is to add pigment. Now I'm taking this black shade, and I'm gonna put that right on the very outer corner, and now I'm layering that same burgundy shade right over top. I don't really want the outer corner to look straight up black. I just wanted a darker version of this burgundy shade. So I'm gonna layer those two eyeshadows together and then continue to do the same process, just go back and forth, blending until I get the look that I'm going for. Now I'm taking this orangey shade right here, and I'm just gonna lightly dust this in my crease just to warm up the whole look a little bit. Now I'm dusting away some of that fallout, and now I'm gonna go in and intensify my brow bone shade, and I'm also popping this on the inner corner. Now for my lower lash line, I'm going back into that burgundy shade, and I'm gonna buff this just on the outer edge of my lower lash line. If you're someone who really wants to try a smoky lower lash line, but you just find that it makes your eyes look smaller all the time, that's how I feel, try just buffing it out on the outer edge of your lower lash line. That way it'll give your eyes more of an elongated look rather than such a small closed-in look. Now for eyeliner, I'm using my NYC liquid liner in the shade Extreme Black, as I always do. And for mascara, I'm using my Revlon Volume Plus Length Magnified Mascara. Now for my lips, I'm using my NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Creme Brulee, and that completes this look. I hope that you guys like it. I was looking into darkness. So that's it for the entire video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any future videos of mine, and I will see you next time.